don't know how close they are, but some of my signs can be still left out there and just moved around a little bit, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
do you get to them the same direction?
Do you have signs?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Yeah. So that sounds great, but we'll touch base before Saturday, if that sounds good.
This way it gives you your Sunday.
Yeah, true.
A Sunday off, you know?
Well, and I'm in Venice too, so that's gonna, save me driving back and forth. If they're right there together, I might as well do them together.
I see that Susan is there and Phyllis too. Hi, Phyllis. You
Hey,
guys are mute.
yeah.
There you go.
Hi,
Nicole.
Phyllis.
See you. Are we gonna have the chance to see you, Phyllis?
For a minute.
There you go. Hey, hi. Phyllis, I spoke with the doctor this morning, just so you know.
Okay.
And I have an appointment with him on Monday at 2:00.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole.
He wanted me to meet him this afternoon, and I'm like, I'm not going there unprepared, you know?
Yeah.
I want to bring some comps with me. I want to bring a marketing plan. I'm not going there on a property like that, you know?
Yeah.
So,
He had some issues previously, so I knew he'd be wanting attention at the moment. It didn't get advertised properly. There's a lot to it.
but he told me that he was under contract at one point, and it didn't go through.
Yeah, well, I talked with the agent and it was sort of under contract.
Oh,
Not everything was signed.
I'm not sure how you can be sort of under contract, but that's fine.
There were missing things like proof of funds and stuff like that.
There you go. There you go. I don't know if we're going to have more people, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to do the class. Should I wait a few more minutes? If it's just the four of us, it's going to be easy breezy.
I only got 2 minutes after.
What do you mean?
It's 1:02. So
Okay. Susan, how long have you been an agent? Oh, you're mute. Get yourself on mute.
I think maybe 15 years, but only 3 here in Florida.
Just 3 years in Florida or in this specific area?
In this area.
Okay.
Right, in Florida. No,
Okay.
I came from Colorado.
And Kim, you're new, right? Kim?
Yes, I've been here just 2 months. I mean, as far as with Keller Williams, right? Hi, Phyllis.
hi, Kim.
Hi there.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah.
we're going to talk about farming today, and farming, in my opinion, is probably one of the most important thing that you can do. Just so you know, every mega agent, I want to say 99% of the mega agent do farm. And farming is a way of creating a market share for yourself. And farming is a way of not looking for buyers, but looking for people to list their home. And I am a firm believer that you have to have listings to have a business. And I've said that to many people, nobody is looking for me. When people are in Michigan, New York, or wherever they are, nobody's looking for Nicole Mantha. I can promise you that. What they're looking for is they're looking for a home, and they find a home that I have on the market, and now my name is associated to the house, and that's why they're calling me, right? So farming, when you think farming, what word come into your mind? If I'm farming, not thinking of real estate, just farming, what word come into your mind?
Potatoes. I couldn't resist, Nicole.
You're thinking, well, that's what it is. You're thinking potatoes. You're thinking What you're doing? You're what? You're doing what? You're
Cultivating, growing.
growing. Farming, it means growing. In real estate, what are you trying to grow when you want to farm? You're trying to grow your market share.
Mhm.
The agents that are very, very smart do farm. Why? Because they decide that they're going to become the expert in a specific territory, in a specific geographical area, right? That's what farming is. Farming is I want to grow my marketplace in a specific area. Now I'm going to ask you a question. So Phyllis, you're right. It's planting seeds, right? And if I'm planting seeds, I'm not planting seeds to plant seeds. I'm planting seeds because I want to eat tomatoes, potatoes. I want to have results from my planting, right?
Right.
So my question is this to you guys. Am I better planting seeds in a garden that is 10 by 10 and cultivating my 10 by 10, meaning that every week I water, every week I put, how do you call it when you want fertilizer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I better having a 10 by 10 that I take care of, or having 1 mile of garden that I never water and I only plant seeds? What do you think?
You're better at doing the 10 by 10.
Of course, because if I plant for 1 mile of seeds and I don't water it and I don't fertilize it, there's not going to be anything. There's going to be seeds that are going to left there and that's it. But if I plant a garden and I water it and I take care of it, then I will obtain results. I can think of in my head when I started in real estate and still today, I do know that there are people that are the king or the queen of a specific area. For example, if I'm thinking of mobile home, Lemon Bay mobile home, I can't help it. I think of Barbara Mooney. I've called her all my life the queen of mobile homes because she specialized in that section and it's all mobile home. I can think of in our office, Rebecca McCracken. She has chosen to farm tamarind. She lives at tamarind. She farms tamarind. And do you know what? When people are thinking of listing at tamarind, they can't help it. Mm-hmm. They think of her. Why do they think of her? Because she knows everything about tamarind. She's an expert at tamarind. If I'm thinking of Boca Royale, I have a few people in mind. I'm thinking, for example, of Ann Adderman with Coldwell Banker. She lives in Boca Royale. She farms Boca Royale. People know her. People think of her when they're listing. Okay? So, when I think of farming, I think it's one of the smartest things to do to get listing. Not to send and call, you can call expired, you can do all that, but farming is something that you can very easily become an expert very quickly. So what do I do when I want to farm? The first thing you need to do is to select where do you want to farm, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, where do you live, Kim?
I live in Venice and Grand Palm. Grand Palm.
You've got your farming area, okay?
Right.
You should farm Grand Palm, no doubt about it.
Right.
What about you, Susan?
I'm in South Venice, and it's
where in Venice?
South Venice.
Okay, South Venice.
Yep.
And do you know you don't have to farm where you live.
I know, and I
Okay,
have
you don't.
decided I think I'm going to go over to Waterford because I've sold a couple homes over there. And
Okay.
at a higher price point, and
That you like? Okay,
Yep.
so you, let's say that that's what you select. I know that Phyllis, when I think, for example, at the mobile homes at the co-op on Minnesota Key, I can't help thinking of
Yes.
Phyllis. All right, Phyllis as farm, right, Phyllis?
Right?
She's
For
farming over
14
there.
years.
So people think of her. Most
Right.
of the time, if I drive by there, the sign that is there is Phyllis' sign because she has become the expert. People know that she understands that it's a co-op. People know that she knows all the rules and regulation. People know she know how to close those mobile homes because they're not like anything else. So the first thing you do is select your area. Okay.
Okay.
The second thing that you do is what is your budget? What is your budget? Because Kim, how
Yes.
many homes are there at the Palm?
About 2,300.
Okay. 2,300. So if you send a piece of mail that costs you 60 cents or even 50 cents, you're at 1,000 something, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot. So you can't do that. Does it mean you cannot farm? No, it doesn't mean you cannot farm. So you're going to say, okay, I'm willing to spend so much money every month. 150 or 200 or 100, whatever works in your budget, okay? And maybe you're going to say, I cannot do it every month because of my budget, but I can do it every other month, every 2 months. So based on your budget and based on the price of a mailing, then you're going to decide how many times you're going to do it. But you also have to decide how many homes.
You may
So
be getting into this, Nicole, but how do you go about getting a listing, or can you go out there on a website and find all the addresses?
Yeah, you can go on, there's a lot of things that you can do. You can ask, don't they have a directory over there, a small directory?
Not, I mean, the HOA probably does, but they're not willing to give it out because they see it as solicitation.
Okay, so you can go in by street. So you could go
Okay.
in the tax record by street
Okay.
and pick up, like you pick up 2 streets, see how many labels it's going to give you. If it gives you 50 labels, or you can go in Realist, the system Realist in our MLS.
Okay.
Okay, and I can have someone show that to you personally if you want to, but
Okay.
you go ahead, Phyllis.
Yeah, I can show her, Nicole.
Okay,
If you
can
could, that'd
show.
be great, Phyllis. I appreciate it.
So pick a number of household. Okay, so for example, you can say, I'm gonna start by 50. Do not start with something that you cannot continue to do, because it's all about repetition. You have to do it over and over and over. So do not pick something that you're not going to be able to continue. Again, you're better having 100 people that you're going to farm, because what's going to happen is those 100 people are going to talk to other people.
It's true.
So
Okay.
you're better off like working with a small amount and then increasing as your system becomes better. Okay, so when you want to farm, these are the 2 things you need to do. Number 1, select your area, select your number of homes. Hi, Jim. Select your number of, and decide how much money that you want to spend. Okay. Susan, how many households, do you know how many households in the neighborhood that you want to farm?
Yeah, there's way too many. My farms have literally been 250 or under households, and so there's
So
definitely areas.
you're gonna shrink that. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna. And Phyllis,
it's
where do you
costly.
farm? Do you farm only?
I farm in Gulf to Bay, and I will tell you, Pat asked me here the other day to determine where my listings came from. Now there are 108 units out there, and I've done this for a long time out there. 80% of my referrals somehow or other connect to that farming area all over town.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, when I started in real estate back in 2002, I was involved at Paul Manor Condominium in Englewood, and there was only 76 units. Okay, this was what started my business. Those 76 units and owners that I farm and knew me created my business, because exactly like Phyllis said, it's not only those people, it's the extent of those people. Okay, so you're farming to someone and then they decide to sell and then they decide to buy somewhere else, and suddenly it becomes like a spider web. It grows. So that's why you don't need to start big. You need to start where you can afford it, but do it. The problem in real estate, I've said it many, many times, the biggest problem with realtors is they start doing something and they stop. And then they start something else and they stop. This is never gonna work. You are better saying, I'm doing one thing alone, and this is it. Phyllis just confirmed that her business kind of have grown from that subdivision. Rebecca farms pretty much only tamarind. All of her business have grown from there. We have another agent in our office, a gentleman, and he's been in business for more than 20 years. He only farms one section, which is Rotunda in his case, and he only does one piece of marketing. But that piece of marketing goes every 2 or 3 months, and that's all he does. He does it religiously, has never stopped, and he's grown a $6 million business. So if you were to decide to farm an area and do only this, I can promise you, you will grow a business. And I know that we have a lot of class. I know that we learn a lot of things and that there's a lot of actions that we are told to take. But the reality is you cannot take all of the actions because everything gets diluted. Then you're not accomplishing. So you're better deciding on doing one thing, master it, do it, do it, do it. And maybe, Kim, once you farm 50 people, you get a listing out of it, you make a commission of 9,000, 10,000, and suddenly you decide, whoops, I'm gonna add 20 households to my farming area. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Susan?
Yes, Nicole, yeah, Nicole, do you think it's, I was trained a little bit different in the fact that we would actually do mailings or something in farming at least every month. And as you start a new farm, even shorter duration, like an 8x8 almost, if that's available, just to get your name in front of these people. Are you still recommending that, or do you think every 2 to 3 months?
Absolutely. But first you've got to get them in your database.
Okay.
You know, you can put you can do an email drip campaign, but if you don't have anybody in your database, how do you get those people in your database?
I'm talking about Kim and myself, who are going to start off with just addresses and these people. And, you know, the hook to get more information out of them, obviously, is what the farming is about, basically, and trying to get a listing or whatever. So I guess I'm wondering what you think about when you start new. Is every 2 to 3 months enough?
Well, you know, if you don't,
For me?
it's all about, unfortunately, it is also about the budget. So
Sure. And that's why the size of the farm is you have,
if you
you
can
know,
do it, yes, if you can do it every month, it's fantastic. And
Okay.
if you can, and then after that, if you can add them, if the goal is to get always the contact information. And the best contact information you can get is always a phone number and an email. I do try always as a minimum an email, because then you can put them on a drip campaign and that costs nothing. And that's the beauty of being able to do the drip campaign. But you when you're farming, you have to kind of do a combination of everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree. I agree.
So here's where we go. We pick the number of households in the neighborhood that we pick, and what's our budget. The next step is you find out everything that you can find out about that subdivision. Because if you're going to advertise yourself as being the expert, you have to be an expert. And how do you become an expert? It's when you know everything, right? So what do I need to know, for example? Yes, Phyllis.
Oh,
Did you have a
no,
question?
sorry,
Okay.
never mind.
What do I need to know? I need to know how many households are there in the subdivision, right?
Right.
I need to know what's the demographic of that subdivision. Are there families with children? Is it elderly people that are all retired? Is it a combination? Why do I need to know the demographic? It's because when I pick my tools to farm, I want to target the right demographic. If I'm in a neighborhood with a lot of family, I want to talk about family and the schools and the things like that. So knowing your market and knowing who they are and what they do. Are they golfers? If they play, if I'm in a golfing community, I probably want to send something about golfing. You know what I mean? Are they waterfront? Do I want to send something about fishing? I mean, you want to target what they like to do. What else do you want to know? You want to know, is there a homeowners association? And if there's a homeowners association, you need to know everything. What are the rules and regulation? What kind of financial do they have? Am I allowed to solicitate? Am I allowed to knock at doors? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to live in a community and start knocking at door if I'm not allowed to knock at door. So am I allowed to knock at doors? What are the amenities that are offered? Is there a community pool? Are there tennis? Is there golfing? If there's golfing, is it a public golf course? What does it cost to become a member? Do I have to become a member? Do you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how many properties are I want to know the real estate in that subdivision. How many properties are currently on the market? What is the price range of those properties that are on the market? How many properties are pending? How many properties have sold? I want to make sure I have a copy of all the documents, if there's bylaws, if there's the article of incorporation. I want to know everything. What does that community offer? And what kind of lifestyle people will get by moving in my neighborhood where I'm the expert? Because I want you guys to remember something. We are selling a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I always say a home is a home. you know, but we are selling a location and the lifestyle that that location offers. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, now that I know how much money I want to spend, now that I've selected where I want to farm, now that I know their lifestyle, now I'm going to prepare my tools. What am I going to send? And you know, if you guys were to get together with an accountability partner, like Kim, if you would have someone that you work with, same thing, Susan, you have someone. What you should do is your farming plan for the next 6 months. Not for just the next month. Oops, I should send something. It shouldn't be like that. Okay? You should know what you're going to do for the next 6 months. And because we don't farm the same area, why don't we work with 2, 3 other agents and sit down and create some tools? What if, for example, Kim, you would think of something for the month of February, and Phyllis, you would think of something for them, or we sit together and we decide, okay, in September, we're going to send a letter. And here's what we're going to say in our letter. And we can have something similar, but just adapted to our subdivision. Mm-hmm. But we can help each other creating those marketing tools that we're going to be sending. Because you should know in advance, September, I will be sending this. November, I will be sending this. December, this. Regardless of the marketing tool, here are the things that you must have in your mind. How are you going to brand yourself? How are you going to, what is going to be the words that you want? What is it that when people get it, they're going to know it's from you? Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Your branding should always be there on every piece of marketing, every piece of material. If it's a catching sentence, but your branding must be there. They must recognize the piece of marketing coming from you. Maybe not the first time, maybe not the second time, but I can tell you after a while, they will.
Nicole, can you give me some examples? I mean, you know, can you give me some examples of branding that you have seen or that you've used?
It can be a logo with a sentence, you know, like the team that works for you, or your neighborhood expert. What's the name of your community?
Grand Palm.
So you could use Grand Palm, you know, you could say your Grand Palm expert, or come with something catchy that they know that, you know, or you live there. So you want to let them know that you live there too. Mm-hmm. So something, you know, that you can put every time on your piece of material. I have a logo, and I've started with the team that works for you. I would change it now, but I've been working with it and I'm keeping it. But you can do something that's more concentrating on the palms. But think about it, because it's got to stick with you. You're going to brand yourself like that. So you got to decide how you're going to brand yourself.
Okay.
Now, on every piece of material, you must have a call for action. You're not just sending this for no reason. A call for action would be like what, Phyllis?
Oh, I usually use, please, I'm really simple, Nicole. I usually just say, please give me a call. I'd love to answer all your questions. And I try to put that at the end of
That's a call for
everything.
action. When you're telling people, please call me, it's an action. You want them to, okay? Send me an email to obtain my neighborhood market, real estate market report. Call me for your free CMA.
That's good.
Call me anything that you could give them, you know? Call me to obtain a welcome package. Maybe you prepare a little welcome package that talks about things at the Palms.
At one point in time, I also used the fact that I could send you a local map. I still do that.
That is
good. A lot of people from up north do not understand the system. I mean, the city. So you send them a map.
Call me.
That's good.
To get your free map. Or maybe you get a little map from the subdivision, or maybe you create something that is specific to that subdivision that they can call you to obtain. Now, is this all taking time? Yes. This is what it's called planning. If you don't plan, you do not run a business. This is a business. If I'm selling anything, if I'm opening a business of any sort, I will have to plan to obtain a clientele. If I open a restaurant, I'm going to have to write to people and tell them, call me to get your 10% discount. Call me to get your free appetizer. You know, is there a restaurant around that you can offer, that you could call? Is there a restaurant close to the Palms or anywhere you guys are? Felix, Lock and Key. Call me to get your free 10% discount at Lock and Key. You go to Lock and Key, they give you some card that you can give. Find something that you feel would be of value enough for them to trigger to call you.
That's good.
Okay? Every piece of material, every piece of material also must have the disclosure about if you are already, what's the disclosure? Where did I put that?
Working with an agent? Is that what you're talking about, Nicole?
Yes. Each office is independently owned and operated. If your property is currently listed, this is not a solicitation. Okay?
Where can we get that from? This is it just out there somewhere on I guess it's on any material, right?
It should be on anybody's piece of marketing.
Even our business cards, I guess, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Do you have it?
Let me look.
No, I don't think it's on our business cards.
It's supposed to be on the bottom of your business cards.
Yeah, it just says each office is independently owned and operated.
Right.
Okay, but you want to put, if your property is currently listed, this is not a solicitation. This have to be there.
Right.
And it says if your property what?
If your property, is currently listed, this is not a solicitation. So basically, each office is independently owned and operated. If your property is currently listed, this is not a solicitation. This got to go on every piece of marketing.
This is not a what station?
It's my English.
Not a solicitation.
Thank you.
This is not a solicitation. Thank you. Okay, thanks. All right.
Kim, if you're using like Command or any marketing material platform that are building
in there
stuff, it's in there.
Okay, perfect.
Get it right there. So
thank you.
If you're doing your own Outlook or whatever, if you're that techie, then you're gonna have to do it yourself.
Okay. I've been getting in Command, so I'll find it. Thanks.
You know, Kim, do not be afraid to talk to people, you know, take some walk in the evening and ask them, you know, I'm new. I want to become the neighborhood realtor. I want to become the one that's going to assist you and give you information. Would you share your name and email with me? And then start, you know, growing. But the way you're going to accomplish that is by sending them something. Every big realtor that I know does farm. I went on an appointment, you know, Oregon, you're going to do an open house there this weekend. I met with the seller there, Phyllis. She had another property listed with an agent in our office, okay? A top producer in our office. And she said to me, I said, oh, you're working with that agent? And she said to me, I said, how did you decide who to work with? And she said to me, I went with that agent because she sent a piece of material in the community every month.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
That's why she said at that date was an $800,000 listing. And she picked that agent. She did not know that agent. She picked that agent because of the mailing. And I send those, and I had a listing. I send those. Do I have an example? I send the big postcard. Oh, I just want to show you the SE team they're not with us anymore. But one of the things that is very cheap and that you could do easy 50, 60 homes are the door hangers. You know, the door hangers, because you can't knock at door, but I don't know, depending on your community, they did door hangers and they got a lot of success from it, and they're cheap. The door hangers are $28 for 50.
Don't they consider that part of solicitation though?
Well, if you can, it depends. Each community
is different.
You know?
Okay.
You might be able to put something in the mailbox. You might be able not to. You might be you might be able to. I don't know. I don't know. You have to find out. Okay. This is one of the things that you find out. But I was sending the big postcards, and I thought I had an example somewhere. I was sending the big postcard, and the guy said to me that he selected me because he had no choice to look at the postcard. He said, all the mail that I receive in an envelope, I didn't open it, but yours, I had no choice. So you got
That's true.
So you got to kind of decide, you know, but you want to change also what you send. Now, what I think is extremely effective, and very, very cheap is a MLS report mail to your farming area. And it's very simple. Just a piece of paper, you know? And you go in MLS and you put real estate report in your area, and you put what's on the market, what's under contract, and what's sold. And this can be a copy paste from MLS with a little message. And you just close them like this, you know, just close, like put a sticker and put your, just like that. These are very, very cheap. Okay, and this works. This is something that you could do every 2 months, because in 60 days, there's a lot of change. So this could be your material, piece of material every 2 months. Every 2 months, I'm sending a report on the market, of the market. And Kim, and Susan, you know what happened is people think that you're the one who sold all those houses.
Oh, that's even better.
But you do put that disclaimer on the bottom. These were not all sold by our company or whatever, so. In very small print.
Yeah, very small. Yeah.
People think that, you're the one. So go ahead.
No, the other thing about marketing material I used to do was think about long range. How long will they keep it for? Is it just going into the circular file right away? So things like baseball schedules, unfortunately, or football schedules, whatever, something that lasts a while, that can be hung on the fridge. Calendars at Christmas. They're a little more expensive to do, but they have a long shelf life.
I completely agree with you, Susan. I do send a calendar every year.
Okay.
I send a big calendar. I don't send the cheap one. Mine, it costs me $6 a piece when I do that.
Yes.
But there are smaller one, and you're right. You should have a piece of material that has more longevity if you can. Many people, if you have those little calendar with the sticker, a lot of people will put that on their refrigerator. So my first piece of material, if I was you guys, once I start farming, would be a piece of letter introducing myself as the neighborhood expert with an update in the neighborhood as far as what happened, and my business card with a magnet in the back.
Mm-hmm.
The average person opens the refrigerator more than 22 times per day. More than 22 times. They don't get something in the fridge every time. But people have an habit, and it's everybody. They open the fridge. My kids, the first thing they come when they come to my house is they open the fridge and look. Close the door, open the fridge, and look. What do you want? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so send your business card with an introduction and an update on the market. And put, of course, an action, a call for action. Do you have other example of piece of marketing, Phyllis, that you like to send?
Actually, I've done in March when there's a time change, but I'll have to tell you, with the community that I farm, I ended up getting the best results because I would make a point of being in the park at least twice a week. I made a point of stopping and talking to everybody.
Now, I did. Is that right now? I believe.
Yeah, they're not here.
Not only that, right now is not a good, with the pandemic.
No.
I don't think people want you to knock at their door. I just don't.
Oh, I didn't knock at anybody's door.
Just walked around.
Yeah, I just wandered around. But I found that when I sent the sports cards, you never know whose favorite team. And I would end up sending, something up north that didn't apply to them. So I stopped doing that and just did the time change cards, which I always got a response back. But you're right, Nicole, you can't go into the community, but that is where I got most of my customers and how I learned the farming area. So now I got to do it differently, which is sending them a letter.
Yeah, I send material. If I get a listing in the community, I send a postcard. If I sell the house, I send a postcard. Yeah. If I hear of something new happening or an event coming or something, I send something. So if I was you, my first thing would be this is what I would do. I would pick the number of households that I want to farm. Make sure they don't farm vacant land. Well, I mean, don't send to vacant land because obviously they're not going to get it. Make sure you're getting to the right address. And do my plan for the next 6 months. pick what I'm going to send for message, pick my tools. I would have a program. And I'm telling you, if you do this every month for 6 months, you are going to start seeing the results.
Yes.
The problem that we're having is, and I say it, and I say this not for you guys, but I say this for myself as well. We all know what to do because we have a map of what to do. The Millionaire Real Estate book is a map of what to do. We cannot do everything at the same time. It's impossible. But the problem that we have is between knowing and executing, there's a big gap. And a lot of time, we just don't do it. This is why I say, don't try to do it all. Start one thing, but complete the task. Make yourself a full program. Commit yourself. I'm going to farm. Let me tell you, she's an example. I'm an example. Rebecca's an example. I know a ton of agents that have started by farming just a small market, and that exploded from there. So you don't need to have 500 people you're writing to. Start little, but sit down, put your addresses on, do your entire plan. What will be your action? Have it all ready. And do that. You will see the results. But until you're doing that, until you do this, it's impossible to become the neighborhood expert. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get a group of people that are going to automatically think of you when they think of real estate at the Palms or in South Venice or wherever you are. I started back in 2002, so that would be 18 years ago. I still farm Paul Manor. I still have most of the listings there, and I still get a lot of business as an extension of Paul Manor. So to me, the goal is to list some house in your neighborhood where you are farming. If you can get a few houses and then multiply, you'll build a business. You will build a business where you live.
Nicole, what are your thoughts? Like here in Grand Palm, we've already got a real estate agent that is just known for this whole development. I mean, she is the go-to person. Do you, because you're more comfortable, you know everything about this community because it's so large, do you still go ahead and farm it, or do you choose another area to farm because she pretty well has it? I mean, I guess there's always opportunities. Get yourself out there and talk to people and that kind of thing. But I mean, she is known for this whole community.
But do you know something?
What's that?
I can promise you one thing. There are people that don't want to work with her.
Well, that's true. There are, I mean, that's with everybody. You just either click or you don't. So,
you know, the best thing that can happen is competition. Never be afraid of competition. All the large brand knows that. That's why when you see a McDonald's, you'll see a Burger King.
True.
Right?
A CVS and a Walgreens. Yeah.
That's why when you see a CVS. Why? Because people, once you go to one place, the next time you'll go to another place. So everybody's pulling. So this is not a bad thing at all. And trust me, everybody approach the business in a different way. And there are people that might not want to work with her and would welcome a choice, would welcome another person.
Good advice.
Okay? Because we don't have all the same style. All right? My style is boom, 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 boom. I mean, I'm like, but when I go on a listing appointment and the person is very like, sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm too much for this person. They need another agent. I'm going to try to increase it. So, because we don't connect to people the same way. So I am 100% sure that there's other people that would welcome a choice.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
how many people in that neighborhood you said?
There's like 23 homes are going to be once it's built out.
2,300 homes?
Yes.
There's more, there's
Than what
plenty
you can
of room
handle.
for you. Plenty of
true.
room for you.
That's
Absolutely.
true.
Absolutely. Questions? Oh, your piece of marketing that you're going to send, not only it has to have a call for action, but it have to have some kind of value to the homeowner. Because if you send things that have no value, there'll be a point they're not going to look at it anymore. And when I say value, it doesn't mean monetary value. It's any type of value. And value is information. Right?
Yeah, Nicole, I just saw one. In fact, I made a copy of it. I'm looking at it on my phone right now that I thought was really good. That was a magnet that said seasonal home maintenance. And it's just a reminder on different months, you change your batteries in your, smoke detectors. Do this, that, kind of like a hurricane type thing too. This is what you need for hurricane. It's a magnet is that value added?
There are so many things that are available that you can offer to people. So research the different tools, because if you go on any website that sells promotion, they have every type of
Everything,
magnet. You can customize it. But you can also create some.
Okay.
I do believe that if you have an accountability partner, this is something that you should get together and say, okay, let's spend 2 hours, 3 hours, and let's put our farming plan together. Because it makes it easier to have idea and to create, and you know what I mean? Sometimes one is better at creating, like I'm not very good at creating artistic stuff. I'm a number person. So do I do my postcard? I get someone to do it for me. But maybe you have someone that can, if you help, if I would I would put my month, and I would say, this month, this is what I'm sending. A letter, I'm introducing myself, my business card. I went and got some magnet. I put magnet in the back of my business card, and I'm sending that to those 50 people. The second month, what am I sending them? Okay, I'm going to send them, research the tools, research everything. There is something, and it can be only a letter. One of the things that I've stopped doing, that I did for years, I would not act because I was always trying to have the perfect piece of marketing. I was always trying to have the thing perfect, okay? Well, I would never get to it. I would never get to it because it was never perfect. I stopped doing that because I realized that, why am I farming? What's my goal?
Just to get your name out there and have touches, right?
To have them think of me.
Right.
That's it. That's the only reason I'm farming. I'm farming because when they think of real estate, I want them to think of me. And they're going to think of me only if I'm in their face all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't hear from me in 6 months, you think they're going to think, oh, yeah, I think there's a realtor over there. They're not going to look for me. They're going to look for the realtor that has been in their face the last time. That's the one they're going to call. So I just want to make sure I'm in their face all the time. So stop trying to make it perfect and just send it out. Send something,
Okay.
prepare something, and send it out. If
Nicole,
I was to recommend any new realtor, the only thing to do would probably be farming.
yeah. Nicole, there's a magazine out that comes out through, it came into our office called American Lifestyle. And when I initially looked at it, I thought, this is a waste of time. And it has a letter to whomever you send it to, and then has recipe cards and things like that. I was totally surprised at the activity and calls that I got from that going out every other month. So it goes out in print, and then it goes out in online. It alternates, and I'm getting responses. I initially did it as a trial, and I'm going to stick with it. It's probably better than some of the other stuff that I've done out there.
Yeah, you got to stick with it. You got to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. If you would to be talking to a marketing advertising specialist, and you would ask them what's the most important thing in marketing, they will tell you repetition.
Yep.
Because if I send something today and I don't send something for another year, do you think they're going to remember me?
No.
No.
Waste of money.
No. So yes, Susan.
Oh, I had another question about how do you handle snowbirds down here? I think that was my biggest, what do I do with them? Where do I send stuff to them? Are they here? Are they there? You don't know them. So how did you first start off with those people that are technically snowbirds?
Phyllis, do you always send to the mailing address and records, or?
I go in and I have the mailing for Gulf to Bay. I have their home address up north, and I know when they're here, which is January through April. And everybody is a snowbird except 12 families, and I know which 12 and everybody else is up north. So
so in your case then, Susan, typically people that come down here to spend 3 months have their mail forwarded.
Right.
So yeah. I always send to the address on record, the mailing address on record.
Right, which
not
is
the
usually
address
up
of
north.
Property, the mailing address on record. Because like I say, most of the people that are here for 2-3 months, they forward their mail.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking back because I did between mailing and door dropping when that was allowed. I was doing both and had to realize I can't drop on their door, and came back and had the long thing of trying to send it to them or do whatever. So I missed a lot of marketing in that.
Okay.
But whatever. Okay.
But what I'm going to stretch here the most is if you start doing something, commit to do something. Commit to do one thing and do it until you master it and it's automatic and it's being done and all that. Until you have that, don't start another, just get one thing done. This will bring you results. No doubt in my mind. It's very, very rare that I do a mailing and I don't get, yesterday or the day before, I sent my newsletter. Did you get that? Do you guys get it?
Mm-mm.
Supposed to go to the agent. No?
No.
Nope, you didn't get it, Nicole.
I did.
You got it, Susan? Okay, well, I sent my newsletter. I had 5 people within 1 hour, clients, writing to me. Oh, Nicole, you know what? I was thinking of selling my house. Would you send me a CMA? I always have something that comes out of it. But the result takes time. It's like your seeds that you're watering, Don't stop watering it because you're not gonna. People say, I sent a postcard and I got nothing, no call. How many postcards you send? One time. And you think that at the time you sell that those 50 people maybe were thinking of selling or buying? No, not necessarily. Maybe next month. Keep going, keep doing it.
Okay.
That's the secret. Keep doing the same thing. Any questions?
Think of anything.
I only hope that when people learn something, that they take a little bit of it and apply it. I never expect it all happens, but a little bit of it and apply it. It makes because I know I made a lot of mistakes, and one of my mistakes in the past was to rebuild my clientele constantly because I was not taking care of my past client. And I think about 5 years or 4 years ago, I don't know if you were there, Phyllis, at that meeting, but in front of everybody, I told them that I decided to look at what my clients have done in the past. I went back and pulled all of my file, and I realized that I had lost potentially over $10 million of transaction because I did not stay in touch with my buyers.
Yeah.
Okay. They end up selling their home 2 years, 3 years, 4 years after I sold to them, but never stayed in touch with them. Why would they remember me? The statistics are saying it. More than 80% of the people, if the agent didn't stay in touch with them, they can't even say the name of the agent. Wow. And sometime I will go in listing appointment and I will ask, who did you buy the house from? And they'll say, oh, I think it was with Remax.
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy is that when you're rebuilding your clientele instead of keeping a clientele and nurturing it? That was such a big awakening for me. It was like a slap in the face because you almost take it a little bit personally. You know, when someone doesn't come back to you, you think, wow, maybe they didn't like me. But how about maybe they forgot about you?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So go for it, Kim.
I will. Great training, Nicole. This was awesome.
Become the Palms expert.
I'm going to. I'm excited. I've got a plan now. I'm going with it.
And get some help and talk to others and try to. I think that when we're working together, we accomplish more.
Makes sense.
More ideas, more more expertise, more of everything.
And I need that person with all that creativity. I'm like you. I'm more of a numbers person, so I need that creativity.
That's what's. You know what? That's what stopped me. For years, that's what stopped me. Because I felt like, I can't do this. I can't create a postcard. I can't. Then you start searching. They're all there. They're all available. Yeah. I mean, even if you take a little card. My gosh, I received a card today. Even if you go buy yourself some tiny little cards and just mail them to everybody. Hi, I'm your new and my card is included. That's it. 50 little cards, dollar store, stamp.
Yeah. And I've done that. I've started that. So
you've done that?
Yeah, I've already, in fact, probably to everybody in my database, I already sent out a welcome intro letter and then put my business card in there. So now I'm building it more within the Grand Palm area because the first one was just friends, neighbors, family, all that, where they can help give me referrals. So now I'm really trying to work the farming part of it.
Okay, have you done the Palms?
No, well, part of it. Probably just like on my street, probably 30 to 40 of them, something like that.
That's a start.
Yeah, I've done that. But then again, I've done it like 3 weeks ago. So I need to be getting ready for my second mailing now.
Yeah, and when you do your labels, you can print them just on a piece of paper, and then you just have to copy them on labels if you don't want to reprint every time, you know?
Well, and you know what I was doing, and I'm realizing I can't do this now, is because I was handwriting every one of them to be more personable. But like you said, if you're going to have mailings on a monthly basis, is it too impersonal to use the mailing labels? Don't think so. I can write a little note inside.
Do it.
Okay.
You know what?
Takes you time to stick them on.
It's about them seeing your name and your face. That's it.
True.
First
Okay.
thing you know, you'll go in the clubhouse and someone will say, hey, I've seen
Yeah.
you somewhere. Yeah, you probably seen me because I've done. You know, one of the thing also that you can do is you can go to the Chamber of Commerce and get a bunch of the guides, Venice guides or
Yeah.
Emerald guides, and you can tell them, you know, call me to get your town visitors guide, or you know,
That's
I
a
can
good
drop
one.
it in your mailbox, or I can drop it at your front door. I mean, there are. Write all of your ideas of anything you could send, and then select your best idea. Create your 6 farming tools for the next 6 months or your 12 months or whatever you want to do depending on your budget.
Okay.
But again, there are many things you can do that are very cheap.
Okay.
Very cheap.
Very helpful. Thank you, Nicole.
You're quite welcome. Any questions, Sue?
No, thanks. It's great. I might call you later.
Phyllis, she's an old one. How long have you been doing this, Phyllis?
About the same length of time as you. I think I came in 2003 or 4.
Yeah, you mean I'm older than you?
Yes. Yep.
She's feeling the age, huh?
I'm a
Gosh.
believer that you start, like I say, I started with 76 units. And it built up to 4.6 million the first year, 5.8 million the second year. It didn't take long. But I mean, I kept working with those people nonstop.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have the uncle and the aunt and the this and the that, and it goes. Right?
That's true. Yeah, you don't think of it that way when you're doing it, but you're right. It's just word of mouth, isn't it? It just takes
Oh,
off.
yes. Oh, yes. Okay, guys.
Thank
It's
you.
2 o'clock. Have a great day. Thank you very much for being part of this. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye,
Dave.
guys.
Bye,
Okay,
everyone.
bye-bye.
Thanks.